Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Arby Piper, coming at you live every Monday through Friday, right here on Piper Academy at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the alpha, what you need to know to make money in this crazy, crazy market. Got a great show lined up for you guys today. Got some things that happened out there in the world that are giving me the indication that we might be looking at $45,000 Bitcoin incoming. Is it possible? How high? How high is Bitcoin going? So, also got some good news articles for you and a big announcement at the end of the show. But shout out to everybody that's just joining. If it's your first time here, go ahead, stick around, hold off for a second, see if what I give you is valuable content. If it is, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell every time we go live. If you're not new here and you've been here before and you are just coming back because you like what we do here, guys, go ahead and hit that like button. Greatly appreciate it. Helps the algorithm, and I'm trying to grow something great so that we can grow together. But I don't do it by myself. I have a partner in crime, and let me go ahead and bring him up on the screen. What's up, OC guy? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, Piper. How has it been? Yesterday, I was watching you on one of the amazing show. I was following you on that while you were trading. So that was pretty exciting to say the least. So how was it?
Not bad, not bad. Had about six trades going yesterday. Only ended up down $5. And I will, to be fair, I was in the positive. That was all fees. It's hard. It is hard to trade on there, man. When you're scalping those higher leverage, very quick turnarounds, the fees eat you alive. So shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Gia S in here at the Blue Wrench. Much love to you, Gia, holding it down on my side over here. Got Ninja Glock in here, Mr. J. Justin Eubanks, saw you around yesterday in the trade wars, giving shouts out. A couple of you were in there. I appreciate you guys. Eric Wallen in the house. We got Indie Rock Crypto. If you guys don't follow his, listen to his music. He's got some great indie music out there on the YouTube world. Ada Asen here. He wants some TA on World Mobile Token today. So we're going to take a look at that for him. Mr. J said 45K. That's right. LFB Rail. And then who else? Anybody else that I'm missing in here? John D's in here. Tradefly. Shout out to Tradefly, friend of the show here in the house. So, all right, let's get into it. Guys, we got some, we're going to go over the news quick, and then we're going to get into the chart. We're going to talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and why we're hitting 45K. I've got a theory, and we're going to I've got a thesis, and we're going to lay it out with some proof. Okay, we're going to prove our argument. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over into the news. Up the news. That's the news. I hit the next button, but next button goes to that now because I fixed that not going to it. So now you're going to get it randomly. No, guys, check it out here. We've got, looking at the coin market cap here, guys, we do have Bitcoin down a little bit in the past hour, only 0.15%, up 1.5% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum up 2.2% there, down just a little bit. The last hour, we've seen a little bit of a pullback, but that's okay. Markets are opening. I think we're going to start rebounding now. XRP up about 1%. Solana up about 0.3. Big winners, though. For the daily is going to be Avalanche at 6.8% there, and Polkadot. If you guys got into that Polkadot trade yesterday, and we're going to go over that setup, I called it out live on the air. It would have been a beautiful trade. The target that I told you we were going to hit, we hit it. Litecoin up 3.5% there. So that's what we have there. Let's jump over, look at the liquidation. Something interesting with the liquidations today, guys. We have excited for Tradefly live stream soon. Yes, he does some great stuff, man. Looking here in the past 24 hours, we've got some interesting stuff that's happened here on the liquidations. And I want to point out that most people looking at this probably wouldn't put two and two together on it because it's not very obvious. But past 24 hours, 23,262 traders were liquidated. Well, that's a pretty low number in comparison to normal that we normally see on here, right? Especially on big move days. So that means that either a lot of people weren't trading, or a lot of people were trading in the right direction. Total liquidations coming in only at 66.3. That is not that high. And then that's actually pretty low. And then the largest liquidation order happened on BitMEX. It was $1.5 million. So we still had a big liquidation, but Not a lot of people liquidated and not a lot of money liquidated. If you look over here at Bitcoin, longs, 4.9 million. That was it that was liquidated on longs. Tells me that a lot of people probably had either A, not a lot of long traders, or B, they did not have their stop losses or very loose, or they had very low leverage that they were trading on. What I find interesting here is that it looks like, again, we either had a lot of people that were trading for long, or we had a lot of people that were not trading at all. And I'm keen to believe that what we had was more people were longing Bitcoin yesterday, which means overall sentiment pretty bullish. We can see that up here actually when we look at the greed index. We're sitting at 70. That's pretty high on the greed fear and greed index. So interesting stuff there on that. Let's get over to the other articles though. Tether circulating supply increased by $4.5 billion in USDT in November. USDT growth, the circulating supply of Tether increased by that $4.5 billion in November there, amid growing market optimism for a spot Bitcoin exchange. Kraken, notably a Kraken address, TQEF1, minted $2.5 billion of the stablecoin during that period there. And then the big reason that a lot of people think this is coming is because Tether is planning to grow into other areas outside of its growing circulating supply. Tether's CEO hinted that the stablecoin issuer is building new products that would be launched next year as part of expansion plans into new frontiers here. Tether has co-founded and will heavily invest in peer-to-peer technology called Hole Punch. It's the first peer-to-peer non-blockchain based tool that allows for building web services without any central structure. And this means that tools like WhatsApp, Gmail, Google Maps can be more efficiently and can be built more efficiently and be more scalable. So basically, decentralized Web3, guys. USDT going into that strong. So, yo, Crypto Pollo, Cluck Cluck, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Glad to have you here. This here, guys, MicroStrategy's expanded Bitcoin holdings to $6 billion. They purchased $593 million worth of Bitcoin, right before the move. Good on them. What does it have here? Too long, didn't read. We're not going to go to the whole article because obviously we know MicroStrategy does this. This is something Michael Saylor does, right? MicroStrategy's bought another $593 million in Bitcoin, now holds over $6 billion worth. Consistent Bitcoin purchases as its value rises over 10% in November. So MicroStrategy's commitment to buying Bitcoin paying off a substantial gain. Shout out Michael Saylor. Weird dude, but smart. The president of Colombia becomes Bitcoin holder. Guys, you want to see some clickbait headlines? That's this one right here. OC and I were reading this earlier. It's pretty interesting. So you see here, president of Colombia becomes a Bitcoin holder. He bought Bitcoin. No, not really. And even look, let's double down on it. Yet another head of state joins the horde of cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Let's get down here, get to this piece. The president of Colombia has officially joined the ranks of Bitcoin holders. Samson Mao, a prominent figure in the Bitcoin community, gifted the president a wallet containing 100,000 Satoshis. Guys, it comes out to $39. So basically, Samson Mao gave $39 worth of Bitcoin to the president of Colombia as a gift. And that equates to him becoming a Bitcoin cryptocurrency enthusiast, just so you know. So there you go. But hey, maybe he sees that $39 become, $100 and goes, wow, if I would have had more of this, and then decides to buy. Who knows? But yeah, interesting enough. That was the headline versus the story there. First mover America's Bitcoin hits $38,800 overnight for the first time in over a year. We're going to actually look at the chart and talk about that. Yeah, Bitcoin rose to 38.8, first time since May 2022 during the European morning hours on Friday, continuing a strong multi-month run buoyed by expectations of growing institutional demand. So yeah, bullish. Price predictions. Let's see here. This is a little article that I found that I thought it was very interesting. We're going to lead this right into what I'm going to show you on X marks the spot, and then we're getting in the charts because this is where the stories get good. Bitcoin price predictions. We got Chair Chappelle. Yes, Gosh, there is no major economic events on the calendar today. But there is a Fed speech from Chairman Powell today. So we'll see how that goes. Be careful. Thank you for reminding me of that indie rock. I forgot to pull that up and show people. But yes, that could be something that causes some volatility today. Bitcoin price prediction from 2023 through 2032. Will Bitcoin bulls rally? So interestingly enough on here, they have a prediction for 2023 up to, this was done yesterday, guys. This was yesterday that they released this article, interestingly enough. $37,300. Well, we're over that right now. But their 2032 prediction is over $1 million. That is $1,098,079. So there you go. I just thought that was interesting. But let's get into the good one here. Here's where the proof of the pudding starts, right? Let's get into the bookmarks. Bam, there we go. First off, on X marks the spot today, guys. OPEC Plus has agreed on 1 million barrels of oil per day additional in production cuts. This is expected to go alongside Saudi Arabia's much anticipated extension of 1 million barrels per day production cuts. I think gas prices are going to get stupid this winter. Be prepared. So I want you guys to know that. This comes as oil prices are down from their 20% from their highs. Oil is nearing $80 on this news. So be careful. And then the last thing that I want to show you here we go. Let's bring this up and talk about it. Guys, this is from Zach Voel here. Started following him yesterday. It's pretty cool stuff. But this is the historical trend on Bitcoin November and December since 2015. Every time we've had a green November, we have followed it with a green December. 2015 saw it. 2016 saw it. 2017 saw it. 2018 saw a downside in November, had a downside in December. Downside in November in 2019, downside in December. Upside, upside, downside, downside. Guys, we just had a green November, up by 10%. Are we going to see the continuation of this beautiful chart here in December? I think we are. And I think that it's going to be a $45,000 movement, a $45,000 target on that. So, HARP, morning, still over 5.5 in California. Ouch, HARP. That is harmful. $3.50 in New Jersey, New York for GIA. Yeah, that's painful, guys. My heart goes out to you and your wallet. Yeah, that's what we got here. Let's go ahead and jump over to the charts, OC. First off, let's jump to here. What do you think about these articles? What do you think about this whole November, December? Are we going to see a green December? Are we going to have a Santa rally?
I do believe so. And everything is falling in its place. And if you remember one of the previous thumbnails, it is a huge moment or a big movement is coming up. And that's what you were talking about, that we are now into a bull market, right? And at this point, we were abused children from the bear market. So just to being that reminder, and also in between those same dates, we were talking about how aluminum was actually doing great on their structure, and also the construction rates were coming up higher, right? So those are important pieces on the macroeconomy that directly affect the crypto economy. So not only because of that, it is also because on Bitcoin dominance, we can start seeing also recuperation. We might be heading to maybe a double top on Bitcoin dominance, which could be expected out of a bull rally on the altcoins. So, I mean, we've been seeing a couple of icons taking off. So that is also said that a little bit of that Bitcoin money might be migrating to the altcoins. So far, everything is looking bullish, everything is looking good. Although I still have, remember, I am 65% in on where I already want to be in, right? So I still have plenty of dry powder to start burning up as we make maybe a couple of lows, and I'm prepared for whatever is coming. But so far, I do believe that it's gonna be a great December.
Yep, I'm of that same mindset, and have that Bitcoin dominance chart ready to do some analysis on that, because that's going to be a great
Yes.
segue out of what I'm getting ready to go to, guys. Let's jump over into the charts. Let's do that. All right, so taking a look here, guys. This is Bitcoin. Looking at the 4 hour, you can see that I do have this line on here: $37,975. This is my support line that I'm watching for a retest here, based on the 4 hour chart. You can see we had a touch here, we had a touch here, we had a lot of fighting here going on with it. There's a wick there, and now we have broken above it. After this retest of it here, we pushed through it. I think this is going to be a retest line, so I have it on here. But what I'm seeing is we still have movement up on the oscillator here to go. We're not stupid high on here. You can see we can get all the way up to this line here, about 89.90 on this RSI prime. So that still has some room, and we can still push all the way up into this level here, as you can see on the signal line for the Ichimoku. So we still have some upside, but all of this will cool off nicely if we come down and retest this previous support here, because we have failed that every time we've retested it before. If we prove it as support, this is going to be bullish for Bitcoin. Now, here is where I think that we get into the $45,000. Hey, look at this chart. You guys ever see this chart?
I
Eric
can
Wallen,
barely
much love
remember
to you.
it.
Something. I remember it somewhere. Guys, we broke on a wick last night, the 0.66 at 38,471, pushing up there on the phase two. If we are able to get above this, because obviously we closed the month. I mean, if we look at the month, guys, we closed it right under the 0.66, which means that in order to have a green December, we're going to break this, right? We're going to break under that, break over that. Let me get my fixed range volume. There we go. We're going to be higher than this, which means that we're going to be above the 0.66. If we prove the 0.66 as support for the month and we continue up, that would technically put us into phase three. If we go even 50% up, or about 60% up into the platinum pocket, which we're going to likely have to if we're going to stay above the 786 over this time, right? Let's move this back here and see how this looks into December. There we go. If we do that, we're going to have to stay above this line, and that would be our next resistance point, because we typically move the test resistance right here on that 786. That's $45,363 Bitcoin. So if history has proven correct and we can expect green November means green December, and December closed at the 0.66, that would mean that the December candle is above the 0.66. If this is support, $45,000 is your next resistance. So if my charts are accurate, and if the historical data is accurate in predicting future movements, this is how we get to $45,000 in the month of December. So strap in, guys. It could be very interesting. Now, keep in mind, while history does rhyme, it doesn't necessarily repeat. And it is very possible we could see a pullback, and this be the year that we don't have a green December following a green November. But based on odds, that's where we're going, and that's where we're heading. And if we're proving the 0.66 at 38,471 as support in December, then we're going to test $45,000 likely around Christmas time. So that's how I got to that, guys. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think we see $45,000 in December for Bitcoin, or do we stay under 38,000? What do we do? What do we do in December, guys? Let me know. Put a 1 if you think we're going to 45,000. Put a 2 if you think that we are not going to 45,000. Let's just do that.
And
That is what I
Piper,
got.
I do also have another kind of like well, can we jump back into your charts? It's part of your charts that you got there. I mean,
Oh, well, let's
remember
talk
that
then. We'll
December.
talk. We
Oh
talk
yeah,
here.
sure. Remember that December is a whole month, right? And we could be basically being below or like underwater the whole December, and then until the last day of December, just kind of like a demolish it, right? That
Yep.
will put us up at the end of December, right there. So
Yep.
I think that pullback it's totally possible and still closing positive on December. That doesn't mean that most of December we need to be climbing up and climbing up and climbing up, but it just means that by the end of December we should be closing higher than we closed on November. So of what we started with. So I still believe that we could be having that pullback. I'm hoping for that pullback. I'm prepared for that pullback, and at the same time, I believe that we can be having that we will be having a great December. But I mean, not in the perspective that every single day is gonna be a new high, but at the in the perspective that we're gonna close above on positive in December.
Yeah, and that's very possible too. We could stay above and still have a green December, but it doesn't go all the way up there. It's working its way there going into January, and then ETF in January is what gets it there. So, guys, reminder: stick around to the end of the show. I do have a special announcement at the end of the show. So, looking at the chat here, OC, it looks like we've got some people that say um, one, some people say two. It's about mix. It's 50-50 here. But A to A, strong two. Alex O. Crypto, the otter in the house, he said two. So it looks like we have a lot of, abused crypto people, neglected, abused crypto people that are still dealing with their bear market PTSD. So nobody wants to move it, wants to believe that movement. But I will say this. I am hoping that we do get a pullback because I'm still got some money to put into this market. So give me a pullback. I want some buy-in points. So that's what I'm hoping for. Do you have that Bitcoin dominance chart handy, OC? Are you ready to run on that?
Yes, ready to run on that. All right, guys. So first of all, before we go to the end of the chart, I want to show you a pattern that I'm seeing here so we can see the result and then to start seeing what we can be expecting out of what we have. All right. So the pattern that we're seeing, it is that right here, and let me clear my spaghetti because right on the get-go, it seems like I haven't taken breakfast. All right. Look at that ADX. All right. And let me for that turn off the squeeze momentum. Look at how that ADX, when it's above out of that zero line, it is basically bouncing from it. It's going flat, all right? And then let's add that squeeze momentum. Going flat and then having a red valley, what it gets us? Well, it gets us, yes, a pullback, but not as bad as, like, for example, previous pullbacks. And we can still see the same reaction here. But what happens when we have going up and then also a pullback on the squeeze momentum? We increment the possibilities or the chances to keep moving downwards. All right, so far as we still flat on the ADX, because remember, ADX is telling you the strength. All right, on what, on whatever color we are. So the strength going up on red, that means prolongation or increase of that bearish movement. All right, so once that we have seen that, let's go all the way down here. And first of all, I see a topping here. The first thing I could be doing, and I know this is going to bring a little bit of a spaghetti, but bear with me. Oh, it didn't. Here we go. We can see that we are testing a couple of previous highs. Also, we have a very beautiful and steady uptrending line right here going on. All right, so we have a flat top, a rising wedge in there. And then exactly what I was telling you guys, look at what is happening right there on the ADX. It's flattening out. And what is supposed to be coming here? Well, then I'll most likely will be expecting a red valley. So what I'm expecting on here, it's something like that with a prolonged red valley that might be taking us kind of like a fake out to just grab some liquidity, grab some other sections down here, and then keep moving upwards as we jump into mid-December or late December, right? So that doesn't mean again that we're doing bad. It just means that money is migrating off Bitcoin because the economy is doing great. All right. So just to add that confluence, let me start turning on my indicators here. The first thing that I see here is where do I have my big support and big resistance? All right. So where or what else do I see? I have a rising pattern here. So it's not about the breakout, guys. It is about the retest. That retest happened. We have that pullback. We were above dynamic reactor, respecting that trend line. And then also, let's pull this one up here. We have that beautiful bounce of the zero line. So FOR. So that is flip of the ribbon. So flip of the ribbon, add support, and off we go. All right. We are right now on crazy resistance. That's what I was saying. We could be looking at that double top and then maybe going to grab some liquidity. Where is that liquidity? Right where that green dot is at the bottom of the smart target and on big support, as we would expect if we have a valley here, something like that. All right. And let's just measure it just for good measure from here. So we started, let's do it here to here, and then move that from where we are. All right. Right exactly where we are expecting for that price, for that, sorry, for that market cap to be at. So again, that doesn't mean that we're going to be having the prices of Bitcoin just plummeting. We could be seeing a pullback, which again, that's also what I'm expecting, but also that money could be migrating to altcoins and we could be seeing that volatility playing out on altcoins. So it's worth to be keeping our eyes, especially on new shiny coins that could be blowing up. And remember, those are to make money, or try to make money with a say or as safest position as possible, but not to go full jam, DJing 200x or nothing like that. But remember, this is not financial advice. You do you. All right, guys.
You
So,
suck all the fun
what do
out of
you also
things,
have
OC.
here? What is it?
I said you suck all the fun out of things. I want to go full DGen 200x. Um,
Oh yeah, I know.
all right, let's jump over to my charts here, guys. Polkadot. We talked about this yesterday at the show close, and during that show, we were sitting down here. Let's see. This is going to be in the time period. We were breaking out of this wedge here yesterday, this symmetric triangle, excuse me. And I told you guys that hey, this is looking good. If we don't get rejected on this delta median of the predictive ranges and this trend assistant, I would be looking at this to be a breakout to the target up at the golden pocket. Well, guys, if you got into that, congratulations, because we were about down here at about 529, 528 at that point when it did this breakout. And yeah, we absolutely have just come back in hard on this all the way up to that target of $5.52 rejection there on that golden pocket at the 0.66. Actually wicked all the way up as high as $5.57. So if you got into that dot trade yesterday right here live on the show, congratulations to you. If you didn't, you could have looked for that short at the top of the golden pocket and caught that reversal. So that was actually called out yesterday on that show, and it was pretty good. Now this is more of a symmetric triangle. It's pretty even on the angling there. So oh, you said you're looking at it in the ascending triangle. That's your big reservation with call it a pullback. Nice, very nice, very nice trade fly. That's what I got on Polkadot. Let's go and check out Ethereum this morning. It's sitting up here. Got almost a perfect rejection. Guys, this trend line that I've been showing you on here on Ethereum has been here for a long time. It goes all the way back here to the date of 22 November of 2022. So we can see here 221122. That's when this trend line started back here, and we had all the testing of support there. We had a test support there. We had a test support there. We broke it here, and that is where we got a strong sell signal from Chart Prime. Down it comes, right? We came back up. We had a couple of fake outs on it here, going back here in November, early November this year. We tried to hold it as support. If I stretch it out, you can see the retest here. You can see here we got beneath it. A lot of rejection off of that that trend line there. Rejection again, rejection again, rejection again. Fake out, pull back below, rejection again, rejection again. Guys, looks like we are just about, this is probably a retest because this line is so long. It's nudging, just the smallest nudge can do that. Yeah, we can look at XBP also. We can do that. And we can look at that. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. I'm watching this trend line, but right now, still sitting around $2,080. This trend line is our current resistance that we have, but we are above some great support on this 50% fib. So you see all that there was very strong resistance. Now we've tested it over 2 days period as support. This could become like a nice little broadening pattern here that we could get into support off of the 50, and then finally break through that. Once we get above there, I would love to see us keep it, unlike we had back here. So that's what I'm watching there on Ethereum. Let's take a look at the oscillators. Oscillator does look like we're poised for a little pullback right now. We can see we're about to get a flip of that ribbon there, and we do have the overbought boxes there. We are getting the very small Heikin candles up above that 70% line on RSI Prime, and we have topped out on the Ichimoku signal line. Last time we had that was here. It gave a small little pullback, but mostly just sideways. So does not necessarily mean that we're looking at this to pull all the way back. But we do have the dynamic reactor coming in here strong, trend assistant coming in strong, all at that 50. Watching for $2,029 to be the support line. Let's go check out some of these things that they have in request here, OC. And I'm going to
Absolutely.
start with World Mobile Token. Can you pull up XPB?
Perfect.
Okay. I'm going to pull up World Mobile Token. You pull up XPB and have that ready to go. Ready to go. Um, let's see here. I have it right there on MEXC. World Mobile Token right there. Let's go see what we got here on World Mobile Token. World Mobile Token went all the way down to the 382 recently here. Was getting a nice pullback, but we did get a pump up here. We got above the dynamic reactor, but right now, currently, we are below it. So that means that it's bearish again. But we are holding the 50% fib, which makes it bullish. So it's in that very indecisive state right now. If I go and pull some things on here, let's go see if I can throw a fixed range volume profile on here. Oh, I already have one. Let's go pull it all the way over and get that loaded in. And that's going to give us some nice perspective here. Oh, we rejected on the point of control, bro. That's not good. Yeah, we pumped up to the point of control here on the on that very long fixed range volume profile that we've been watching, and it rejected right off of it. So be very careful with World Mobile Token right now, because we are looking at the oscillator with the possible ribbon flip coming over. Bought boxes here. Again, we're up high. You can see back here we hit this, we came down, we hit this, we came down. Very likely we hit this, we came way down. Very likely going to see that happen here. And you can see the Heikin candles getting very small there also. So giving us even further confirmation. And we have pretty much stayed below the zero line on the Ichimoku signal line for a long time. And it's starting to get that curvature. So I'd be watching for some downside coming off of World Mobile Token, bro. Be very, very careful. Yep. I got UNFI. I'll start that one next. OC, are you ready to take off with XPB?
Yes, absolutely. XPB is standing for a Polka Fantasy, correct? All right, just making sure of that. So, guys, I don't have that much of hope for this coin, but let's take a look at here, because we are on the face of changing of a structure. All right, so it's been very, very, very bearish for the past months. All right, and finally we've been seeing that break that little range and then breaking that structure right there. And yes, we're going for that dynamic reactor. So I say that I don't have that much of a hope right now, because we are fairly below that zero line, and we need to make sure it is not a fake out like this. All right. So for me to enter here, and I believe that you're looking at the long here, would be just retesting this trend line, which will be somewhere around this golden line. Remember, on this predictive ranges, we want to be oscillating or trading within that golden lines. All right. And that, my friend, when I see also break through that zero line, that's what I will reconsidering to enter for maybe a long. But let's take a look at what's happening right here on my squeeze momentum. So the squeeze momentum, it is finishing. It seems like it wants to already finish that bearishness, right? So let's take a look at what's had happened before. So we see that little itty bitty movement to the downside, and then we see it the strength ramping up on that green valley. All right. Previously, we've also seen that, but we haven't had such a big movement. So again, we need to be careful, because after what that movement finished, when we're starting getting close to that zero line, and let me make it big so you can see it here. All right. And also, let me move this out of the way. I want to see going into the green histograms, all right, with a movement on my ADX to the upside. That means that it has strength on the green squeeze momentum. All right. So far, I would not be venturing on that coin right now. I'd rather see it breaking through big resistance, going for that very high order block, retesting that big now support previous resistance, and then whenever I see that next maybe flip of the ribbon, that hiking action candles ramping up in here, that's what I'll be taking the lift of a movement to the upside, because we do have a buy signal. All right, but we are very, very neutral both in our prime score, which indicates that I should be ranging, and also my consolidation, that again, that shows me that I should be ranging. So far, I am looking for a little range to happen somewhere around here. And until I see that range broken in a flip of the ribbon, either at support for a long or a resistance for a short, all right, I'll be looking for the next position. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm looking on Polkadot Fantasy.
Nice, nice. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up UNFI here. That's what I got going on my charts. So taking a look at this here, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. TA on WMT, I've got that. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, Harp said that that's the wrong XPB. It's PAL blocks. I didn't even see that one. Harp, we'll have to look for that one, bro. Because when I was looking up XPB, I didn't even see one of those for anything in USD. I think it might only be towards ETH. So
Oh, but it seems like it is on Uniswap. I do got it here. When you have chance, I can go back
okay,
and take a look
yeah,
here.
yeah, we'll look at that in a second. Then we'll look at that in a second. So taking a look here at UNFI, guys, a couple of things that I'm seeing here. Still looking pretty bullish on this. We are getting a very tight cloud down here. Typically, when we see this, it does break to the upside. However, we've seen it get tight here, and it continued to the downside on this historically on this particular asset. So it is possible that could still come down, and I think that it's actually going to, because we have a red signal line on the Ichimoku. We're below that zero there. It does look like we're getting another red cloud, another red candle right there on the RSI prime, and that could be coming back down also. And that's going to be okay, because I've seen a couple of things in here that tell me this might be a good time to actually jump on this asset, and where that entry would be. And check this out. Here's how we're going to get there. We're going to come over here and drop a fixed range volume profile on here on top of all this stuff. First, I do want to point out we did come back up and retest against that trend assistant, that bearish trend assistant for that rejection. But when I throw on this fixed range volume profile, you can see right now we are holding what is previous support. Also happens to be the value area low on the fixed range volume profile, guys. So we are sitting there on that. This is a very bullish stance to be on, sitting on that. But if we break it, I suspect that we're going to be coming back down to test this dynamic reactor. Dynamic reactor seems to be where we stay in range with this usually, at least in the ballpark of it. It doesn't go too far below the dynamic reactor. So if we take a look and we go, all right, can we find some support or resistance there that falls on that dynamic reactor? Well, we can. Let's go grab a Fibonacci, and we're going to come from this bottom up to this top. And what do you know? We literally have a golden pocket overlapping right there with the dynamic reactor. Would be a quick breakdown below this value area low. Give us the flush out into the low ranges on all of this stuff. That would be where I would be looking in for a long on UNFI at about $10.81. We'll go as high as $10.91 and as low as $10.71. So $10.71, $10.91, maybe do like a 33%, 33%, 33%. Give that whole golden pocket 3 pickups for a long. Set your stop loss right around $10.50, and then you're going to have a pretty good stop loss in comparison to your entry. And that is not financial advice. That's just how I would set up a trade. So there you go. That is what we got there. Yes, Dave Digital in the house. Dave Digital with the blue wrench, because everywhere he goes, that man should have a blue wrench. So that's what I'm seeing on UNFI. OC, kicking it back over to you so you can get the correct XPB now that we know.
Perfect. Let's take a look at Poblox then. Well, Poblox, it seems like to be a very fairly new, so we don't have that much of a history. But let's do what we can with what we have. All right. So I see that we still had a little bit to go on this oscillator before we start pulling back down. And why do I say that? Because besides already broken the previous high on the oscillator, I can see that usually when we start in those golden boxes, we do go inside that ranging zone. All right, so where is that ranging zone? Well, it's not mostly a ranging zone, it is an order block that I have here. All right, so I have a very high order block, which it seems to be magnetic. I mean, the order blocks are magnetics, but in this case, look at how pulls the price, and look at that, it's just pulling it in. So that's what I think might be happening. As far as me entering for a long, not at all. Absolutely not, because I could get burned. I'm not there to chase after prices. Where do I look for longs? Well, I look for longs when I start seeing that flip of the rerun break through that zero line, or exactly when I start seeing that momentum, that bearish momentum going down, and also the strength going down. Because remember, this is the strength going down on the bearish squeeze. So if the squeeze, the bearish squeeze strength is going down and it's I am ramping towards a bullish squeeze, well, I could be recognizing or identifying a movement to the upside. All right. So now let's take a look at the historical data that we have here. And I believe that we could be right here because previously, yes, I mean, this is a little bit offset, but we had a little peak in here. Then we broke the previous high. All right. So I believe that this section could be somewhere around here. Just so you know, I'm not talking about the distance between the price action, all right? I'm just talking about the oscillator to know what I could be expecting. Why? Because right here, we were basically without any market cap. And here we already have some market cap, all right? Just so you know. So that's why on price wise, we'll be acting a little bit differently. But this section will be this section. This OB, I'm hoping for it to be like that. And what I'm looking for is a continuation of an uptrend while I start forming a bearish divergence. All right. That will mean that I will get pulled into this order block and I'll be leeching out of this order block that I have here. And then maybe going for that retest. And that when I see that flip of the ribbon on a big support, also with that dynamic reactor being there, and finishing that bearish histogram, all right, with a decreasing strength on a bearish histogram, that's when I'll start considering entering for a pullback or for the next movement to the upside. But so far, that's what I got. If you wanted to, I could go into a 1 hour, or we could also do a quick overview or ING, Rune, and Theta just to see the previous analysis that we did yesterday.
Yeah, go do a quick overview of what we went over yesterday on those, just to do a follow up, and then I'm going to be pulling up Clean Spark, and I'm going to be pulling up Pith,
Perfect. So
PYTH,
on
however you
Illuvium,
want to
guys.
pronounce that.
Yeah, on Illuvium, guys, it seems like we are right on schedule with our analysis. Remember that I was telling you that we have big resistance in here. I was hoping for it to be a little bit more dramatic. Although if I start turning on my spaghetti, you see that we did have that week. Although again, I was hoping for a larger week there. Nonetheless, on right on schedule with that ranging zone that we have having. So far looking again to keep going up in here and then flipping. Seems like the flip might be happening just a little bit early as we go to test resistance. Again, I will be looking for this lower line in here before I consider visiting the bottom part of the previous triangle. Look at that triangle. So this is, and let me start making this one a little bit thicker here. So this is the next zone that I'm looking for. Why? Because I have VPVR spikes in here. Look at that VPVR spike. And also, here we go, VPVR spike. And also, I have the bottom of my triangle, another VPVR spike, and that confluence with that dynamic reactor. If you don't have dynamic reactor, don't worry. You can start looking for what we were looking yesterday. We see which is the airside prime. We remember I was calling those small those small Heikin candles down here, and we did have them. All right, so far so good for that bounce that we had going on there. So next thing that I'm looking is the supporting here, and if we fail by making another low here, because remember we are going down on that area side. All right, so far until I see it breaking through and then keep and changing phase on the area side and also finding support, which I believe will be here or here between this section. That's when I start consider re-entering for a long. So far, I'm on a waiting zone for Illuvium because I do believe Illuvium already have a bright future. So ING already testing the entry zone. Look at that. So again, this is not financial advice. What am I looking for to enter? Well, then I was looking for that flip of the ribbon. Although what has happened, I keep moving upwards. So I'm looking for that ribbon to break. And let me just remove everything that I have going on in here, right? So I'm looking that ribbon to break into a red cloud for it to visit my next possible entry position, which is up here. So far, our first target has been hit, so where we were expecting it, and as you can see, we are right on that resistance. The VPVR should also be showing me the next support. Here we go, and then also look at what's happening with the RSI, and that we're having those little candles getting ready to flip, and my squeeze momentum, it is very compressed, but on now, just now, showing me those darker colors. So the only thing that I need to start seeing is that decrease of ADX strength to confirm that I'm going down for the next retest. Almost wrapping it up with Rune. It's basically the exact same scenario. So basically, it is the same analysis, all right, but a little bit more developed. If I start seeing ranging and this one going down and not falling to this section, that means I'm getting ready for the next movement to the upside. So the clock is ticking for this range, and if I don't pull back in here for my next entry, I'll be calling this analysis expire and then looking for a flip of that area side, a flip of the ribbon. Remember that flip of the ribbon, that's what we're waiting for here till already a little bit of time, and also an increase on that ADX for me to enter for a long right there. Remember, still not time for longs, still time for waiting. Clock is ticking. Theta. Theta basically, remember I said I am not too excited about the week because we have seen that week playing out before many times. It seems to be like a theme, and we could be kind of like having a retrace. So far, that analysis is still on time. Look at that, very neatly on that. I took that one. Why? Because I see it retracing. I am on theta right now. I am taking profits right now. Also, right before this, we started. Why? Because we're getting close to this support. I could have waited a little bit, but I'm so close to that zero line that I just took my TP number one there. TP number two for me will be right down here, just so you know. So we have the complete analysis and reaction of theta. So that was one big hit for us. And so far, that's the preview or review that we were looking yesterday. Piper, I want to throw it back to you to see what you got for us.
Nice. Taking a look at PYTH here by request, and shout out to T Shroom. He's in the chat. He's in the chat right now. So shout out to him. Hey, sorry I did not make it to your 1 year anniversary show yesterday. T Shroom, my apologies, but I was there in spirit. I was actually on another show live, or I would have been in chat. You know that. So yeah, shout out to T Shroom. Gotta love my bros. Let's take a look here at PYTH by request. Hey man, this is looking still pretty bearish to me. We're under the dynamic reactor, so by default we're bearish, and we're actually under it on the 1 hour, the 12 hour, and the daily here. So multiple bearish positionings on this dynamic reactor. It does look like we are about to hit maybe the zero line here. We'll see if that holds for the Oscillator Pro. And it does look like we're starting to get small candles here, so it could still pull up. But until we get above this, this is bearish. And you can see that we're just continuing this trend all the way down. Like it's just it's weak. I know that this is supposed to be the new Oracle Link killer, but Link Marines, I'm the first sergeant of the Link Marines, and we're not letting that happen. No, look, it's going to hit a bottom at some point. I just don't think we've seen it yet. It's still a new token. It's got to get momentum, and they've got to get better marketing. Until they get their branding better and they get better marketing, it's not going to take off yet. I mean, you can see we keep making lower lows. So trend is still down. Consolidation sideways. Prime score is low. It's looking pretty weak, man. Um, Now let's go and check out. I want to check out two more tokens. You want to pull up Solana, and I'll pull up ADA, and then we'll
Perfect.
pull back to our chat screen and get out of here. All right. You go ahead and pull up that. I'm going to pull up my ADA right now, and I'll knock that TA out, and then we'll give the big announcement. So stay tuned, guys. Big announcement for next week coming. So looking here at ADA, guys, I told you yesterday. Let's find the exact time period here. It was yesterday morning, about right there, and I said, "Look, we're on this golden pocket, the 618. I think that we're going to bounce from here, and we're going to go up. And if we can break this 0.66, we're probably heading up to this upper trade band of the predictive ranges. There's the top band, there's the bottom band. Okay." And I said that's likely what would happen. Well, we made it up to the first part, and it looks like we're going to try to retest it. This has played out perfect. This entry line, especially with that wick right there on the 618 at 37.37 cents, has been the bounce. Everything is looking pretty decent right here. It looks like we're about to curve back up here on the oscillator ribbon, and it looks like we're getting a small candle on the Heikinashi candles yesterday. So you scalped Pith yesterday. Very good job, man. Pith sounds to me like Mike Tyson saying he has to go use the restroom. Like, I'm gonna go take a pith. So it's whole I can't call it pith. Pyth, is it Pyth? Is it like Python? I don't know, man. Somebody help me out down there. What are you talking about? Anyway, I don't know what you're talking about, Dave Digital. He said Army Piper is Prego. I don't know what you mean. Are you talking about my wife? No. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Let me know in the chat, Dave. Anyway, I do think that we're going to see this break up to here on the 0.66 and then continue up. We didn't quite make it up there in the first run to that upper predictive range, but we did make it to the first target at 0.66. So, yeah, it's fine. I'll keep buying. Yes, that's a good idea. DCA is the way. That is what I'm seeing on ADA here. Everything else is looking pretty good, and we do have the signal line here on the Ichimoku oscillator pushing to the upside. So shout out on there. Oh, big announcement! I got it. No, not bigger than that. That would not be a big announcement. That would be a nightmare. Crypto Pollo. Oh, you were. Yeah, well, I don't know that I can trade Pith because I don't know that it's over $1 billion on its market cap. So we have a set thing. OC, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Hey guys, so as always, let's take a look at what's happened before we jump into today's price action. But what I'm seeing here, it is that retracement of that RSI prime. All right, what have we seen when we see that retracement and then a little pullback, that dead cat bounce there? Now I can pronunciate it for some reason, but but at this point you can see that we had that little movement to the upside, that next pullback. What happened again with that? I'm talking about this V shape that we have going on. Let me show you guys. So this V shape, all right, let's see. This V shape, especially this one here that we got going on. So let me just draw a line in here and then make them back again shorter. And you see that we have that movement or that prolonged movement to the upside and then a little retrace. All right. So now that we have seen that, let me take you right here at the present moment. All right. So right now, you can see that our previous analysis has been playing out very nicely. And I was expecting for it to have a little ranging here like we had previous ranging here. It seems like it's actually playing out better than I expected. Why? Because look at how we have that V-shaped recovery, and then the range is ranging at the top, very close to that VPVR zone. All right. So we repeat the same thing happening here. All right, with that V-shaped recovery, but the only difference is that right now we are above the VPVR. All right. So remember, I was talking about that V shape happening on the RSI prime. So I believe that we could be going for this support and maybe having a little bit more of a pull up here and then getting ready for again the next big support here. For that, we have the VPVR. Let's take a look at how is the squeeze momentum playing out. It seems like, just like I mentioned, we're going down on that bullish moment squeeze momentum. Nonetheless, we are still bullish. Look at that, going down that squeeze bullish momentum, and nevertheless, we did move slightly up. Why? Because the ADX, because the strength was not actually pointing that bad to the downside until this section in here where we start verticing it, right, and then grabbing that more strength. And what happened? We went down. All right. So this exact same thing is happening here. The ADX, it's flat. So that's why we don't see that retracement just now. And also it's indicating me that I could be going slightly higher here. So let's find another piece of confidence with the oscillator. The important part that I see on the oscillator right here is that we just broke above it here like we did. But in this case, I still don't see any bearish divergence. So far, so good. I'm looking for the FOR, flip of the ribbon, at support. You see that for my next possible entry. So I want to grab that opportunity. So let me add one alarm in here. So I want to get ready and reconsider, re-jump into my analysis when that alarm gets hit. I'm also going to be adding another alarm in here, up here, as we finish or we close this VPVR volume spike. All right. Come on with trading. The trading view has been, oh my God, like unbearable lately. But yeah, all right, that should get better as we go. So far so good in 4 hour. Let me just throw out a little bit more confidence here. As you can see, where do I have my resistance? Very precise resistance there. So nothing to do. I won't again be getting entry or not entering for a long until I break through my alarm, going for that retrace or retest, and then if when I see again another flip of the ribbon, considering entering for a long. All right. And again, with order blocks, same story, big support on here, big resistance here. That's why we're seeing we are constrained with that same range that we can see. And EMAs, they are a little bit lagging, but here we go, 55 and 100 acting as my first channel of support. But yeah, Piper, do you see maybe something else that would you like to add here?
No, I think that was pretty good, man. I think that was pretty good. We're about at the hour mark here, so let's make the announcement. I want to give a
Yeah.
shout out to Nunya. Nunya, welcome, Schaefer. And have you subscribed with your alt account? That's my question. Guys, check it out. Got some big things coming for the show. One, we've got some deep dive stuff that Crux is going to be doing. It's called Crux's Curriculum. That's going to be out here in the near future. We've also got some more guests coming on next week. Next week on Wednesday's show, which is right before I go to Florida for about 10 days. So we're going to have some solo OC guy days in there on some of those days that I'm out early waiting in line to get into the parks. But next Wednesday, Crypto Seth is going to be on the show. And then on that Tuesday, the night prior, I will be on Crypto Seth's show. You will also see a mini series coming where we're going to be collabing back and forth on our channel and his channel, where we will be talking about a portfolio that I'm going to be setting up that is going to be competing with my main portfolio. Now, as you guys know, my main portfolio is pretty ridiculously high and very well diversified in mid and large cap tokens. He is going to be setting up with me a um, he is going to be setting up with me a $20,000 portfolio based on Seth calls to see if it outperforms my $300,000 diversified blue chip portfolio. So it's going to be an interesting mini series. We're going to hopefully he's right and it outperforms my other one, but we will see. And it's going to be pretty cool to have him on the show and partnering up here with Piper Academy. So shout out to Crypto Seth, great dude and very smart at what he does. So we're going to be having him on the show, and this is just going to be the start of the great, Changeroo. He's going to be this great portfolio run of Seth portfolio mini series. So it's going to be pretty neat. Also, sometime about in the next 30 to 45 days, I will have a completely new studio that we're building here in home. That's going to have, monitors everywhere, stand-up desk. It's going to be pretty cool. So be watching for that too, making a new studio setup for the show. So we're doing big things. We're doing great things. And we're trying to grow Piper Academy into a professional brand that you guys can enjoy and get some knowledge from. So OC, thanks for taking this journey with me. Everyone that's in the chat, thank you for being part of the alumni. I'm glad to have you guys here. And if you're not part of the alumni, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and get notified every time we go live. Guys, OC, you got anything you want to put out?
Not much. If you're looking for a great coffee, take a look at Legendary Coffee and also follow us on X.
Right there.
Exactly.
Yep. And
Right
then
there.
right there. Yes. Yeah. Checked out the socials, guys. Follow us there on X and also for that legendary coffee and that chart prime over there. Guys, we have a free Discord tomorrow morning. I will be on there live with OC doing the morning coffee, and it's a free show that we do over on the Chart Prime Discord. So check that link out below also. Guys, thanks for joining us here. We are always happy to have you guys come and just see what we got to say. And it's an honor to have you guys here. We will catch you guys Monday morning here on Piper Academy, tomorrow morning over there on the Discord for morning coffee with OC Guy and I. Folks, trade safe, stay primed, and as always, use a stop loss.
That was awesome, dude!